She lies to your face with the same calmness with which she says, "I love you." Let's tell the truth without sugarcoating it. If your woman is cheating on you, it's not just about sex. It's about an entire double life you've been financing, protecting, and defending without even knowing it. Today, you're going to learn something that most men discover far too late. A cheating woman doesn't just betray you physically, she makes you an involuntary accomplice to your own humiliation. And that includes women who swear they would never do that. It also includes the ones who claim that sex means nothing to them. But guess what? When a woman decides to sleep with another man, she activates a psychological protocol that turns her into an expert manipulator. Not because she's evil by nature, but because her mind needs to justify the unjustifiable. It needs to protect her good woman image while doing the exact opposite. And here's what no cheating woman will ever admit to you. She doesn't just plan the sexual encounter. She plans every lie she'll tell you afterward. She rehearses every excuse. She prepares every alibi. She becomes a professional actress in her own life. While you're working to give her security, she's using that very security to betray you with more peace of mind. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what a cheating woman does before, during, and after sleeping with another man. Because if there's anything worse than being cheated on, it's being the last one to find out. Point 1. The secret rehearsal. How she builds the deception. Let me start by destroying an illusion most men have. They think cheating is spontaneous, that it's just a moment of weakness, that it just happened. Wrong. A cheating woman doesn't improvise. She plans. And she plans with a level of precision that would shock you. Because her brain understands this isn't just about sleeping with another man. It's about building a full architecture of deception that can hold itself together without falling apart. Let me show you exactly how this process works. Phase 1. Scouting the terrain. Before anything physical ever happens, she's already studying your routine. What time you leave, what time you return, which days you're busiest, when you're distracted. At first, it's not even conscious, but her subconscious mind is mapping opportunities. Phase 2. Building alibis. This is where she becomes meticulous. She starts inventing backup friends that either don't exist or don't know they're being used as excuses. I'm going to dinner with Maria, but Maria doesn't know anything. Or worse, Maria does know and is actively covering for her. Phase 3. The mental rehearsal. This is the most chilling part. Before she ever sleeps with the other man, she's already rehearsed in her head every single conversation she's going to have with you afterwards. She rehearsed how she'll act when you get home. She rehearsed what she'll say if you ask how her day went. She even rehearsed how she'll respond if you suspect something. Let me give you a specific example that will make your blood run cold. While you think she's at the supermarket, she already has her alibi rehearsed in the mirror. She stood in front of it and practiced her facial expression. She practiced the exact tone of voice she'll use. She even practiced how to respond if you ask why it took her so long. There was a long line, love. And then I ran into Carmen and we started chatting, but she never went to the supermarket. And Carmen doesn't exist. Phase 4. Digital cleanup. A modern cheating woman becomes a tech expert overnight. She learns how to delete specific chats without wiping the whole thread. She learns to use apps that make messages disappear. She learns to rename contacts. She learns to silence notifications for specific people. Her phone becomes Fort Knox. Suddenly, there's a new password. Suddenly, it's always face down. Suddenly, she takes it into the bathroom. Suddenly, she gets nervous every time it rings. Phase 5. Perfect synchronization. This is the most sophisticated. She synchronizes her mental calendar with yours to maximize opportunities. She knows exactly when you have long meetings, when you travel for work, when you're most distracted and least attentive, and she uses all of that against you. Here's the cruelest part. Her brain needs to create this stable double life because she can't function in constant emotional chaos. She needs everything to look normal in order to sustain the lie without breaking down. But to create that fake stability, she has to turn you into a predictable accessory in her theater. You have to act exactly as she expects for her script to work. You can't be spontaneous. You can't change routines. You can't ask unexpected questions. Because if you do, her whole play collapses. And that's when you start to see the cracks in her performance. Point 2, the invisible change in bed. Now let's talk about something that brutally confuses men. Most think that if their woman is cheating, they'll automatically be having less sex, that she'll be cold, distant, making excuses to avoid intimacy. And sometimes that's exactly what happens. But sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes an unfaithful woman actually becomes more sexual with you. And this isn't because she suddenly loves you more. It's pure psychology. And once you understand the mechanism, it'll give you chills. Here's exactly why this happens. Reason 1, compensatory guilt. Her conscious mind knows she's betraying you, and that guilt needs a release valve, a way to balance the emotional scale. So she gives you more sex to feel less guilty. In her twisted logic, if she satisfies you sexually, she's somehow paying for her betrayal. It's like tossing you golden crumbs so you won't notice she stole all the jewelry. Reason 2, emotional rehearsal. Every time she sleeps with you after being with someone else, she's rehearsing. She's testing whether she can act normal. She's checking if she can hide what she did. And the more convincing her performance with you, the more confidence she gains for future betrayals. You become her laboratory of lies. Reason 3, psychological anesthesia. Sex releases oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins, chemicals that create feelings of connection and well-being. She uses sex with you as a drug to calm her anxiety, to feel like there's still love between you, to convince herself she isn't completely destroying the relationship. But it's only temporary anesthesia that constantly needs reinforcement. Reason 4, the perfect alibi. A woman who doesn't deny sex to her partner is rarely suspected of cheating. She knows this, so she keeps up sexual activity with you as a shield, as evidence that everything is normal in the relationship. How could I be cheating if we had amazing sex last night? But here's the part that will really unsettle you. Sometimes the new tricks she brings into bed aren't her own inspiration. They're things she learned or experienced with the other man. If you notice that the script in bed changes radically overnight, it may be imported pleasure from another story. That new position she never wanted to try before. That technique she suddenly masters perfectly. That level of intensity she never showed before. It's not natural evolution. It's cross-contamination. And here's the most disturbing part. While she's with you, part of her mind is comparing. She's analyzing differences. She's using your response to validate or question what she did with the other man. She's turning you into an involuntary judge of her own infidelity. But it can also go the other way. Sometimes sex becomes mechanical, cold, disconnected. Not because she doesn't feel desire, but because she can no longer fake emotional intimacy with you. Her body is there, but her mind is elsewhere, with someone else. And you can feel that absence. You can feel that something fundamental has changed, that even though she's physically present, emotionally she's gone. That emotional disconnection during sex is one of the clearest signs of infidelity. Because when a woman is truly present with you, her energy is completely different. There's real connection, not an act. The problem is that most men ignore these signs simply because they're still getting sex. They think, if she's still having sex with me, everything must be fine. But sex without genuine emotional connection is just masturbation using your body. And once you understand that difference, you'll never again settle for less. Point 3. The theater of false emotions. Here we arrive at the darkest part of the entire operation. An unfaithful woman doesn't just lie to you with words. She becomes a professional actress who manipulates your emotions to protect her secret. And she does it so well that you end up being the villain of your own story. Let me show you exactly how this psychological theater works. Act 1. Performative outrage. When you start to suspect, when you ask the first uncomfortable question, when your instinct tells you something doesn't add up. She doesn't get nervous. She gets offended. Are you seriously asking me that? How can you doubt me after everything we've been through? I can't believe you'd think that of me. Her strategy is not to defend herself. It's to attack you for daring to suspect. And it works because your mental programming tells you that innocent people get offended when accused unfairly. So you interpret her outrage as proof of innocence. But it's the exact opposite. Act 2. Strategic tears. When outrage isn't enough, she brings out the heavy artillery, tears. But not just any tears. Tears designed to make you feel guilty. It hurts me so much that you don't trust me. I feel like I'm no longer the woman you love. What did I do to deserve your suspicions? And you, as a man programmed to protect and console women, immediately switch positions. From investigator, you become comforter. From the one who suspects, you become the guilty party. Act 3. The emotional counterattack. This is the most sophisticated tactic. Not only does it divert attention from her actions, it puts you on the defensive about yours. And what about you? Why did you get home late on Tuesday? You've been acting weird lately too. If we're going to talk about trust, let's talk about that time you... Now the focus isn't on what she did, it's on what you did, or failed to do. Act 4. Total victimization. When everything else fails, she becomes the victim in the relationship. I don't know what else to do to make you trust me. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells with you. Maybe this just isn't working anymore if there's no trust. She puts you in the position of apologizing for your paranoia. While she knows exactly who she was with last night, you end up begging forgiveness for having suspected her. Do you see how twisted this dynamic is? Act 5. Conditional love. The final move is the cruelest. She says she loves you, but only if you stop suspecting her. I love you, but I can't be with someone who doesn't trust me. If you really loved me, you wouldn't have these doubts. True love is blind trust. She's forcing you to choose between your instinct and her love. And most men choose wrong. They choose to ignore their instincts just to keep the relationship, not realizing that there's no relationship left to keep. Here's what's really happening psychologically. Her brain needs you to stop investigating because every question you ask threatens her architecture of lies. So she uses your emotions as weapons against your logic. She uses your love for her to silence your rationality. She uses your desire for peace to suppress your need for truth. And the cruelest part of all, the longer she keeps you inside this theater, the more evidence she destroys, the more clues she erases, the more time she has to perfect her lies. While you're apologizing for suspecting her, she's planning her next meeting. The goal of this theater is not to convince you of her innocence. It's to buy time so she can remain guilty without consequences. And it works because she manipulates the best parts of you, your ability to love and to trust. Point 4, the silent exchange. Now we enter the most technical and disturbing part of the operation. Every unfaithful woman develops what I call a parallel language with the other man, a system of communication that operates right beneath your radar. And the cruelest part is that she uses you as cover for this exchange. Here's exactly how this clandestine communication works. Level 1, coded messages. It's no longer "I miss you" or "I want you." It's "How was the meeting?" when there was no meeting. It's "My mom asks about you" when her mom doesn't even know he exists. It's "Thanks for the advice" when she never asked for any advice. They develop a private vocabulary invisible to you. Level 2, phantom schedules. She knows exactly when she can text him without raising suspicion. It's not random, it's systematic. When you're in the shower, when you're driving, when you're on an important call, when you're asleep, your routine becomes her window of opportunity. Level 3, manipulation of spaces. This is the most twisted part. She takes you to public places, apparently to spend time with you, but really to create excuses to disappear for moments. Going to the bathroom turns into 15 minutes replying to messages. Getting a drink becomes a quick call. Forgot something in the car becomes a sexting session. She uses you as a smokescreen for her secret communications. Level 4, invisible technology. Apps you don't know exist. Secondary accounts you've never seen. Devices she keeps hidden. Sometimes it's as simple as a second SIM card. Other times it's apps disguised as calculators or games. Her phone becomes a portal to another dimension. Level 5, the cover-up network. She's not acting alone. She has accomplices, friends who cover her stories, colleagues who provide alibis, family members who keep secrets. An entire conspiracy is created around you. While you trust the people in her circle, they're actively participating in your deception. But here's the most twisted part of all. The double life excites her. The fact that she can keep two worlds separate gives her a sense of power and control that becomes addictive. It's not just the adrenaline of risk, it's the feeling of being smarter than you. Every message she sends without you noticing, every call she makes while you're present, every meeting she plans using resources you provide, all of it feeds her ego and her sense of superiority. Here's a specific example that will shatter you. She goes out with you to the mall. It looks like quality time together, but in reality, it's a strategic date. While you're trying on clothes, she sneaks off to the bathroom to reply to him. She confirms plans for tomorrow. She sends him a suggestive picture she took in the fitting room. She is literally using your date to plan your betrayal. She comes back smiling, helps you pick out clothes, acts like the perfect girlfriend. But she just finished arranging how she'll cheat on you tomorrow. And you pay the bill at the very mall where she planned your humiliation. Here's the psychology behind this. Her brain needs to integrate both worlds so that neither feels entirely real or entirely fake. If she kept her life with you and her life with him completely separate, one would feel like a lie. But by blending them, using elements of one to support the other, both worlds feel authentic to her. The problem is that the only false world is yours. You're the one living in a lie. You're the one investing in a reality that doesn't exist. And the more sophisticated her web of deception becomes, the deeper your illusion grows. Point 5, the inevitable fracture. And now we reach the point where the entire architecture of lies begins to collapse. Because here's the truth, no unfaithful woman can escape. No human being can sustain a double life indefinitely. The human brain is not designed to handle such high levels of cognitive dissonance for prolonged periods. Eventually, something has to give, and when it does, it crumbles spectacularly. Here's exactly what that collapse looks like. Sign 1. Contradictory details. She starts forgetting the lies she told you. She mixes up stories. She gives you different versions of the same event at different times. Yesterday you said you had lunch with Carmen, but today you said Carmen's been sick all week. Her memory becomes her enemy. Sign 2. Impossible timelines. Her alibis start having time gaps she can't explain. You left the office at 5, but you got here at 8. What happened in those 3 hours? The math of her lies doesn't add up. Sign 3. Uncontrollable anxiety. All that psychological pressure starts manifesting physically. Insomnia, appetite changes, constant irritability, panic attacks. Her body starts rebelling against the stress of sustaining the lie. Sign 4. Disproportionate reactions. She starts overreacting to simple questions, gets defensive about insignificant things. Who were you talking to on the phone? Turns into World War III. Her nervous system is constantly on high alert. Sign 5. Unconscious self-sabotage. Her subconscious mind, tired of carrying the guilt, starts leaving intentional clues, leaves her phone open on compromising chats, forgets to delete evidence, makes mistakes she never used to make. Part of her wants to be discovered so the suffering ends. But here's the cruelest part. Many men finally begin to suspect at this stage, but it's already too late. You didn't just lose your woman, you lost time, you lost energy, you lost self-esteem, and you probably lost money funding her theater production. Because while you were living in the illusion, she was building a new life without you. She used you as a base of operations to find your replacement. And by the time you finally gather enough evidence to confront her, she already has her exit plan. She already knows where she'll live. She already has emotional support elsewhere. She already processed the end of the relationship in her mind. While you're just discovering the betrayal, she said goodbye to you months ago. The greatest humiliation is not that she sleeps with another man. It's that she does it using the love and security you provided. That she turned your home into her operations headquarters. That she used your trust as a weapon against you. That she made you an involuntary accomplice in your own destruction. And when it finally ends, when the theater play is over, when the masks fall, you realize the woman you thought you knew never truly existed. Only the performance she maintained as long as it suited her.